Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It is time for another month of reading and writing adventures. So today I'm going to draw 3 prompts, and that will determine what adventures I'm going to do for both reading and writing for the month of April. Now before we jump into the new adventures for April, I'm going to do a quick recap of the month of March, which was much more successful than February. If you watched the March video, you'll know that I got a little derailed because February was the Olympics, and I did not really do well at all with my February reading and writing adventures. But March, much better. So for March, my prompts were to read for 3 hours a day for a week, write at least 30 minutes every day for a week, read 85 pages a day for a week, pick a trait to explore for a character and weave into my story, read 3 chapters of a book in a different language, and edit 7 chapters this month. Of those, I completed everything except for reading 3 chapters in a different language. I ran out of time and didn't plan quite well enough to get that particular adventure complete. But I did do all the other ones. I did read for 3 hours a day for a week. I did write for 30 minutes and read 85 pages a day for a week. I did pick a trait to explore for a character in one of my books, and I actually picked multiple traits and had a really good time looking at different traits and figuring out what I wanted to use and why that trait would be a good one to build into the character. And I did edit more than 7 chapters in one of my books. So now let's jump into picking the prompts that I'm going to be doing for April. And I do have 2 different jars. So one of them has purple prompts, one of them has blue. The purple one is for writing and the blue one is for reading. And I think I'll do the same thing as I did last month and kind of alternate between the 2 different jars. All right, so first up, I think we'll draw a writing prompt. So I'm going to get a purple one out and let's see what we've got here. It looks like we have write for blank hours every day for blank days. This is very interesting because there are 2 unknowns in this one, the number of hours and the number of days. So it's not just an amount of time for a week or something. It could be for 3 days. It could be for 15 days. So let's see what we can do for this. I think I'll do a random number for the days for the number of days in the month. So there are 30 days in the month. So I will just do a random number to select the number of days. The number of hours, I do have to be a little careful on how high this gets because I do work full time and there's so many other things that I'm doing every day that I can't get too high for too long. That will make it really difficult. That being said, I have a lot of writing that I do want to do this month, so this could really feed into it depending on how many days and hours it actually ends up being. So I think what I'll do is pick between 1 and 3 hours. 3 hours would be really tough, so I'm hoping it's either 1 or 2 hours, and then we'll select the number of days. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 3.
A random number between 1 and 3 is 1.
Okay, that actually works out really well that Siri did choose number 1 because 1 hour is definitely more doable. I would like to do more than 1 hour most days, but at least on my really busy days, that won't get too crazy. So now let's see how many days I'm going to be writing for 1 hour. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 30.
A random number between 1 and 30 is 18.
18. All right, so 18 days, a little over half the month for writing for at least an hour every day. That is actually fairly doable. I think that is fine, and it doesn't have to be 18 days in a row. It's just 18 of the 30 days this month. So if I have a day that it doesn't work, then that's okay. If I only get 30 minutes in, that's okay. If I write more than an hour, also fantastic, because I do have a lot I want to get done this month. All right, so that's the first one for writing. We are going to get the jar for reading and pick one out of here. So what we have in here is read at least 1 blank this month. I'm actually not 100% sure what I was thinking when I wrote this down, but I believe it was genre. So read at least 1 blank genre of book this month. All right, so we will get our little spinner wheel out and see what genre we're going to read. Okay, I found the book genre wheel and here we go. Fantasy! That is fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to read at least one fantasy this month, and that is perfect because fantasy is one of my favorite genres. So I will pick at least one fantasy to read in the month of April. And now back to the writing prompts. We'll draw another one of these out and see what we have. This says, write for blank days in a row without missing. This could play pretty well in with the other prompt that I have of writing for at least 18 days, but let's see how many of those days in a row that we are going to do. I will do the same thing and ask Siri to pick a random number days out of 30, and we'll see what we get. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 30.
The answer is 23.
23? Okay, so I have to write for 23 days in a row without missing a single day. Remember what I said about my 18 days don't actually have to be consecutive days? Let's just change that and we'll just say those 18 days pretty much do have to be consecutive days because I need to write 23 days in a row this month. That's going to be really good for my writing, but a little tricky because of some of the busyness of the month. All right, let's pick another book one. We're going to draw another blue prompt if I can get a hold of one. Let's see what we have. Read a book that is under 300 pages. Oh, that's a good one. So a shorter book. I'm surprised we didn't end up with everything else going on the way it is. I'm surprised we didn't get read a really chunky book or something. Okay, so read a book that is under 300 pages. I'm going to need to go look and see what I can find to meet this criteria. Okay, I think I found a book that I'd like to read that satisfies this prompt for something under 300 pages, and that is Evermore by Jodi Hedlund, the first book in the Last Princesses series. This is a series that I want to read in 2026 and is on that list. So this is a good opportunity to get going on that series. And it is a total of, I'm trying really hard not to spoil the ending, but it looks like it's 279 pages. So that fits this prompt. All right, and we're gonna pick one more writing prompt for the month of April. And let's see what we've got here. Alternate between 2 writing projects every day for a week. That's kind of a fun one. So I get to swap off my writing projects. That actually works because I have a couple of different things that I am working on. So one of the weeks in April, I'm going to just swap back and forth working on those projects. And that should be fun getting to move back and forth between the two. One more blue prompt for reading. Let's see what we have here. It says, complete a series I'm in the middle of. Oh, this is a good one. I've been wanting to actually finish out a few series that I'm in the middle of, and this gives me the perfect opportunity to do that. So this is a really, really good one. Okay, so just to recap, we have our April adventures all set up, and we have for the writing side, we're going to write for 1 hour every day for 18 days. We're going to write for 23 days in a row without missing, and alternate between 2 writing projects every day for a week. And then for reading, we're going to read at least one fantasy this month, read a book that is under 300 pages, and complete a series that I'm in the middle of. This should be a really fun month, and I am really excited, even though it's going to be kind of tricky to fulfill all of the writing side prompts. I am really excited about them because I do want to get quite a bit of writing done in the month of April, and that is going to just kind of pave the way for that, and I cannot argue with that. It's going to be really good. What are some adventures or challenges that you would like to do in the month of April? If there's any of these that look interesting to you, please feel free to grab one and use it for yourself for April. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate you all so very much. And as always, remember to keep following your dreams and believing in the magic of this thing called life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.